learn how to make these beautiful coffee cup earrings. Hey, Ma! The idea for these earrings came from this book, The Polymer Clay Cookbook. It's by Jessica and Susan Partain. I will leave a link in the description. As you can see, I'm basically copying the idea that they have here. They have all different types of food in this polymer clay book. But I'm doing it a little bit different because I did not want to buy all the different colors. They use a lot of different colors of clay, and I get a lot of joy out of painting the clay afterwards. So I use one kind of clay and I paint it later. So this clay is Fimo clay. I bought it for, I want to say like $1. I did have a haul video where I featured this. I got it from Michael's, but you can use any kind of clay. You don't have to use this quote-unquote special pearl clay. But what I'm doing now is I'm just rolling them into cylinders because this is going to be the coffee mug and I will make the coffee inside. But first I needed those little teeny cylinders. So once I had that done, I needed to make the handles, which is just more clay that I rolled out very, 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 very thin. It took a while to kind of get the clay malleable, so you have to kind of really, really scrunch it and stuff for a while. And so I would put the clay away in this little Ziploc bag. It's just a habit I developed from using air dry clay. This is the type that you bake, but it is very dry and it can't hurt, I guess, right? Yeah. So here I'm making the handle. Like I said, I'm just rolling it out very, very thin and then cutting the lengths, the appropriate lengths, so that I can stick it onto the mug. While I'm doing this, I'd like to just remind you that if you're enjoying the video, please hit the like button. It does help us with the YouTube algorithm. And if you enjoy the crafts that you see on Hey Maaa, feel free to subscribe. So September 29th is National Coffee Drinking Day, and I was going to post this for that, but I'm a day late. Or you can say that I'm 364 days early for next year's coffee drinking day. But anyway, moving on. So this is how I decided to make the coffee cup, the coffee inside the cup. This is different than what they do in the book. So I do recommend the book, and you can, I'm sure they have way better results than I do. But what I'm doing is just taking the ball end of my tool, and I use that to indent it so that it looked like, you know, the rim of the coffee mug was coming over. And then I knew I was going to paint inside the coffee. So I did that, and I did shape the mug a little bit and made sure that there was a little hole for your fingers to go in the handle. It's just artistic expression. So however you want your coffee mug to look like, if you have a coffee cup mug that you want a copy off of, you can do that. But see right here, that's me making the rim of the mug. And the inside's just going to be painted brown, so it looks like coffee. But that little ball tool is very, very helpful in doing that. This is sped up, but I would say take your time with this part and make sure you're going to be happy with the final result by taking your time and sculpting it however you like. Make sure that there is a hole for the handle and make sure that it's melded to the side of the cup pretty well, and that's what I'm doing here, trying to make them similar. I'm not going to say they look exactly alike, but I tried. Okay, so this part is, if you remember on the picture, they had a coffee bean, and I said, oh, that's so cool. That's part of why I wanted to make this. There's a coffee bean on the earring. So this, again, I'm doing a little bit different than the way that they tell you to do it in the book. What I did was I basically made a ball, sort of an oval shaped ball, and then I cut it in half so it could be the two halves of the coffee beans, and just designed it with the indent in the middle so it would look like a coffee bean. Just using the tools to kind of sculpt it out. This was really fun to do, and again, I just want to give props to this book, the Polymer Clay Cookbook, because They have such cute little things in there, and I can't wait to try to make bigger ones, maybe into ornaments and things like that. I don't know. I'm going to experiment with it. But I did this all in like maybe a total of an hour's time. And I have these custom earrings that nobody else is going to have the same of. I can't wait to try making different things. So again, I'll show the picture of it here. And it just has all different types of really cool clay crafts in it. Good book. Not sponsored, but I was just shocked that I was able to replicate what they did. Make sure that before you bake your clay that you put the proper posts that you're going to need for your earrings. That's these. I used some eye hook ones, and I used a flat bottom one for the bottom. So you will need needle nose pliers later on to put everything together. So I did bake the clay for 30 minutes. The type of clay that I have, you had to bake for 30 minutes. I have a little teeny toaster oven. I use that for it. Double check and read the instructions for your clay. Yours might be different. So now I'm just painting the mugs. I did the outsides white, you know, just to really contrast with the brown of the coffee inside. I used brown chocolate sprinkles color acrylic paint to paint the coffee inside. I also used that for the coffee bean on the outside. I mixed it with some white for the flat side of the coffee beans, just to make it a little bit lighter. Look at these. Tell me that these don't look like coffee beans. And that's even before I start painting them. I just really love these coffee beans. I love coffee, and I love the thought of coffee, and I foresee me making a lot more of these beans in the future for some reason. I don't know what yet, but I loved making these coffee beans. In retrospect, maybe I should have primed the coffee cups before I painted them, because I did have to put on a lot of coats of white to get the color that I actually wanted, but it wasn't that bad. It's just a little inconvenient when you have to like wait for a side to dry so you could paint the other side, and you know, that was kind of but not too bad. Yeah, I could have waited longer in between coats, but I was getting really excited about this and I wanted to get it done. So yeah, I rushed it a little bit. Now the final step for me was a coat of clear glaze. This is some polyacrylic that I keep in a little container because I use it as a coating on a lot of different projects, and I didn't want to keep on having to open the big polyacrylic container, so I keep it in this little one, and then when I need it for crafts I just use it. So I decided that I wanted to make the coffee beans shiny and also the coffee on top of the cup, so that's all I'm adding. And then I did go back on the mug as well. I wanted the mug to be a little shiny too, so this added shine for the whole project. Use small needle nose pliers to make the dangly earrings. Use the pliers to make a hook out of the straight end of the wire, then hook the loop onto that hook, and then use the pliers to bend it so that it can't become undone. That's the way you make earrings. And so after a couple hours work, this is what you have to show for it. Coffee earrings. I think they're beautiful. If our crafts inspire you, don't forget to leave a like. If our DIYs motivate you to do it yourself, consider subscribing to Hey Maaa. Thank you for staying to the very end. Bye.